Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome everyone to a special Tuesday night edition of the Dog Call. I'm your host, Mondo Black. Salute, everyone. Salute. Let me start by saluting the chat here real quick. Real quick. I thank you all for coming out here on a Tuesday night, short notice here tonight. Salute to you, the Dog House. Major, what's going on, brother? Buckeye. Salute to you. Salute, brother. Georgia Peach Queen, salute to you. 225 girl, what's going on, baby girl? Salute to you. Common Sense TV. Salute to you. Salute everybody. Salute. Okay. Um, you saw the rankings. This committee is not playing. They are not playing. They are really it's two loss. It's so many two loss teams. There's definitely gonna be some two loss teams left out of this thing. So listen, they dropped Bama 6 spots. That was the biggest shock of the night. The fact that they dropped Bama 6 spots tonight, and they moved Oklahoma well in front of Notre Dame. So that tells you that this committee values they value their head to head, and they're looking at strength of schedule. From what I'm seeing, they are definitely looking at strength of schedule. I think for once they finally getting it right when it comes to the strength of schedule. But we're gonna discuss that. Everyone, get your popcorn ready. Our dogs moved up to number 4. I'm going to explain what that means. That is huge. That is huge. The fact that Georgia is at number 4, and if we hold serve and don't make any mistakes from this point forward, you know what happens. We're going to be playing on New Year's. We will get a bye week. So, everyone, get your popcorn ready. I'm Amondo Black, special Tuesday night edition, college football rankings, uh, reaction show. We're going to react to the rankings tonight, and we're going to discuss this. So get your popcorn ready. This is the Dog Call.
Florida, bring on BAMA, and bring on Texas too. We stay true. The dogs see too. We're the one with a few. Go dogs, dogs. I'm playing on Florida. Bring on BAMA and bring on Texas.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Salute everyone. Salute. Welcome to a special Tuesday night edition of the Dog Call. I'm your host, Amondo Black. Got 41 in the building. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Tonight, we're going to do a reaction on these rankings that was revealed to us at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And listen, this committee ain't playing. This committee ain't playing. I, I can't really argue with what they're doing here. And let me get this banner off here. Can't really argue with what they're doing here. Here's the rankings here. If you is we all pretty much knew what 1 through 5 was going to be. Ohio State is undefeated. They're holding serve at number 1. Indiana, number 2. Even though they had that scare against Penn State, win is a win right about now. Same goes for Texas A&M and their epic comeback against South Carolina. The win is a win. They're still undefeated. I think right now they're like 10-0. Indiana's 11-0. Ohio State is 10-0. Georgia is 9-1. A great game. They dominated. I mean, destroyed Texas. That definitely impressed the committee. So Georgia is at number 4. That is huge. That is huge, and I'm going to tell you that here shortly. Texas Tech, the Texas Tech Raiders at number 5. Right now, they're leading the Big 12. They looks like they're a lot to get in coming out of the Big 12. At number 6, we have Ole Miss. Ole Miss receiving some great news today as well. Looks like Lane Kiffin will remain at the Grove with Ole Miss. That's a shocker. That's a shocker because as of last night, I definitely thought that he was headed to LSU. Oregon is at number 7. And Oklahoma's at number 8. Notre Dame is at number 9. And this is interesting. 10. We was looking at 7 through 10. 7 through 10 is very, very important because here's why I say 7 through 10 is very important. BYU has a damn good chance of getting in. And here's the problem for whoever is at that 10th spot. You don't want to be at 10. You don't want to be at 10 come Selection Sunday. You do not want to be at 10 because this is the problem. BYU could beat Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship game, and both of them will get in. Texas Tech will get in, and BYU will get in. They're definitely not dropping Texas Tech all the way out of the top 12. And remember what happened with SMU last year. You know, SMU will get the benefit of the doubt of playing in the Big 12 championship game. As of right now, they're not penalizing teams for playing in the conference championships. Now, that's not on paper, but that is what they're saying by word of mouth. Utah is at number 12. Utah, I think they need a lot of help to get in. Miami. Now, here's the situation here. Miami, if Miami looks impressive against Pittsburgh, if they come out and they look impressive against Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh, they have to go on the road. They finish out the season on the road in Blacksburg and in Pittsburgh. If they are impressive in both of those games, then Miami, I can see a situation where Miami would leapfrog Notre Dame because it will come down to that head-to-head, in which I'm all in favor of that. I mean, why the hell do we play the games if the games don't matter? If you're gonna play the games and you're not gonna count the games, why even play the games in the first place? Miami has pretty much a strong resume, even though they had 2 upsets in the ACC, and they won't be playing in the ACC championship game the way it looks. It looks like it's going to be Georgia Tech and Virginia. Still, Miami has that head-to-head over Notre Dame. Although it was week 1, That was a great game. Both teams were at full strength, and I don't see why the hell that game should not count on when it comes down to if the final spot is between Notre Dame and Miami. So here's the situation. For any team that ends up at number 10, you are in danger of being leapfrogged by BYU. And Notre Dame's spot is not secure. It is not secure at all. If Miami keeps winning and they finish at 10-2 and they look very impressive against Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh, Miami and Notre Dame will be swapping places. Mark my words. I promise you that. At number 14, Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt needs help. Vanderbilt is going to need some help. They're going to need something big to happen, like Notre Dame losing. They're going to need Missouri to upset Oklahoma. That right there would really help Vanderbilt's case. If Missouri upsets Oklahoma this Saturday and Notre Dame loses to someone, and also if Miami loses to either Virginia Tech or Pittsburgh, then that could help put Vanderbilt in there. And also, of course, if Alabama loses to Auburn. USC at 15, simple for USC. I see the thing with the USC, all USC has to do is win Saturday. If USC beats Oregon, they're going to swap places. Because just remember now, Bama went from number 4 to number 10. Don't think that the committee will not hesitate dropping Oregon all the way from number 7 to 15. Because they have nothing else. This is their last chance to get a ranked opponent on their resume. And if they fail, if they do not win this game, and let me repeat, if they do not win this game Saturday against USC, Oregon will drop all the way out of the top 12. And USC, I don't know if they'll put USC at 7, but they'll probably move Oklahoma up, Notre Dame up, Bama up, and then slide USC somewhere between 10 and 11. I could see USC having a damn good chance of getting in. Now, Georgia Tech at 16, simple. All Georgia Tech has to do is win the ACC. Georgia Tech could lose to Georgia, go on to Charlotte, beat Virginia, and they will still get in the playoffs. Texas, I just don't see any path. I'm sorry. I did not see Texas dropping this far down to 17. I had Texas dropping down to at least maybe 15. But to drop them all the way down to 17, it's just going to be totally impossible for them to come back from that. Michigan is at 18, and that is a surprise. They're a 2-loss team. I was thinking maybe Michigan would come in somewhere at 15 or 16, but the fact that they have Michigan at 18, it's going to take Michigan to run the table and beat Ohio State for them to even be considered in the playoff field. And still, I don't know if that'll be enough. The committee is not feeling Michigan at all at number 18. At 19, Virginia. Simple, real simple. Virginia control their own destiny. All they have to do is beat Virginia Tech, win out, go to Charlotte, take care of business against Georgia Tech, and Virginia would be in the playoffs. Tennessee at 20. Now that right there really helps Georgia. The fact that Tennessee is ranked in the top 20, that helps Georgia out. So that gives Georgia, let's see, Ole Miss, Texas, Tennessee. That gives Georgia 3 ranked wins on the season. That makes Georgia's resume very strong. The fact that Tennessee is at number 20. And if I'm a Georgia fan, whereas us Georgia fans, I know Vanderbilt is a feel-good story, but you may want to be rooting for Tennessee in that season finale, because the stronger our resume looks, the better of our chances of remaining at number 4. Now, I'm going to explain to you why it's very important for us to remain at number 4. Illinois is at 21. I think that helps out Indiana tremendously. tremendously having them ranked in the top 25. That helps Indiana's case to remain at number two. At number 22, Missouri, that helps Bama case to remain at. All Bama has to do is beat Auburn. Bama beat Auburn, they're in. But if they lose to Auburn, that's going to be a problem. It's do or die when it comes to Bama and the Iron Bowl. Real simple. I know it doesn't look good right now. Bama fans are pretty much is going to be in panic mode, but there's no reason to really panic. All you have to do is just beat Auburn and get to Atlanta and take care of business there. That's that simple. That simple because you have a very strong resume. You just got to finish strong, and that has been the problem. Salute to you, Jim. Salute to you. Salute, salute, salute. At number 23 is Houston. The Houston Cougars. I don't see a path of them getting into the playoffs, but the fact that they are there at 23, that helps Texas Tech case of being ranked where they are and a possibility of moving up into maybe having a bye in the playoffs. At number 24, you have Tulane. Right now, it looks like they are in the driver's seat for the group of five, representing the group of five, but look out for North Texas. North Texas could slip in there and steal that group of five spot. And at number 25, Arizona State. Arizona State, they were a playoff team last year. They won the Big 12. The follow-up year, they fell off a little bit, but they're trying to finish strong. The fact that they're in the top 25 it says a lot about that program and where the direction that program is going in. So there you have the top 25, and I'm going to go ahead and explain to all of you. And if you have any questions, just type in the chat. Any of you have any questions, or if you would like me to answer any questions, just type in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Just make sure you hit that like button, please. Hit that like button. Now, let me explain to everyone why it is important. What being ranked number 4 means for Georgia. And this is a very unusual situation, but it's about to happen to my Georgia Bulldogs. Okay. We're ranked number 4 right now. We have another ranked opponent on our schedule. Now, Tennessee moving in the top 25 is huge. So if we add Georgia Tech, that will be 4 ranked opponents. We're finishing strong, and that committee looks at that a lot. Finishing strong means a lot to this committee. So if we are still there at number 4, we beat Georgia Tech. We take care of business against Charlotte, beat Georgia Tech, and especially if we beat them convincingly, like I believe we are capable of doing, without even going to Atlanta, without even going to the SEC championship game, our Georgia Bulldogs can end up in a bye. We could have a bye in the playoffs without even playing in the conference championship game in Atlanta. That is why I say it's really meaningless for us to even have to go and play in Atlanta. Now, there are some avenues that could put us in Atlanta. Bama losing to Auburn is number 1. That would give Bama their second loss in the SEC and totally eliminate them from the playoffs. But it will also definitely eliminate them from Atlanta. If Bama loses to Auburn, they're basically eliminated from everything. Their season is done. Auburn can just basically, just torpedo their season in one night. Another way, and I did not even know this. I thought that Texas A&M would probably have. I assume that Texas A&M would have the tiebreaker over the Georgia Bulldogs, but they don't. If Georgia and Texas A&M are both tied in the SEC at 7-1, Georgia would get the tiebreaker because of strength of schedule. Texas A&M's strength of schedule is nowhere near what Georgia's strength of schedule is. So if Texas A&M loses to Texas, which is a very, very, very strong possibility, then Georgia could be playing in the SEC championship game in a rematch against Bama, as long as Bama take care of business against Auburn. Now here's another scenario, ladies and gentlemen. What if both Texas A&M and Bama lose in their season finale? What if the Aggies lose to Texas on that Friday night and Bama lose to Auburn that Saturday night in the Iron Bowl? That will put Georgia and Ole Miss in Atlanta in the SEC championship game. And then for the first time ever in school history, the Ole Miss Rebels will be playing in Atlanta for an SEC championship game. So there are a couple of scenarios and a couple of avenues that could put Georgia in Atlanta. So for those of you Georgia Bulldog fans that are saying, well, we don't want Georgia in Atlanta, I really don't want to go to play in the SEC championship game, there's a strong possibility that we will be playing in the SEC championship game if Texas don't take care of, I'm sorry, if the Aggies don't take care of business against Texas, and if Bama don't take care of business against Auburn in the Iron Bowl, which is possible. You know, we face Auburn. We know what Auburn is working with. We know Auburn has a strong defense, a strong, stout defense, just like Oklahoma. They're no joke. They're no joke. We know that Texas Longhorns, that they have Arkansas this Saturday, and I think they'll take care of business against Arkansas. They If you look at Texas' body of work this year, they're not the same team at home as they are on the road. They're a terrible road team. They are terrible on the road this year. If you look at even the games that they won, they did not play well on the road. They did not play well against Kentucky. They played terrible against Florida. They played terrible against Mississippi State. Should have lost that game to Mississippi State. And then we destroyed them in Athens. But when they're at home, they're a juggernaut. They play much better, or inside the state of Texas. You know, if you look at the Red River game with Oklahoma, they crushed Oklahoma in that Red River game. And Vanderbilt, remember what they did to Vanderbilt, although they almost blew the lead in the second half. Salute to you. Texas also didn't have a gauntlet of a schedule to deal with. No, they didn't. They didn't, but they had some tough road games. I will give them that. It's not easy. Ladies and gentlemen, three tough places to go in and win a game. The Horseshoe in Columbus, Ohio, the Swamp in Gainesville, and at night in Sanford Stadium. Those three places are houses of horrors for visiting teams. So I would have to give Texas that, the Texas Longhorns that. The Aggies, however, 225 girl, they didn't see Georgia. They didn't see Bama. They didn't see Ole Miss. And they didn't see Vanderbilt. So the Aggies had pretty much of a smooth path to get to an undefeated record. They didn't see none of the big boys in the conference. You know, they saw LSU, but see, this was a down year for LSU. They saw Florida. This was a down year for Florida. They saw Auburn. Auburn came this close to getting Texas A&M. Auburn held them to under 20 points. The final score in that game was 16-10. And of course, we all know what happened, what almost happened in College Station with South Carolina. South Carolina had the Aggies on the rope. So a potential matchup with the Aggies in Atlanta, I feel damn good about that. I really do. I think the Aggies are gettable. I really do believe the Aggies are gettable. The way I felt about Oregon last year, I feel that way about the Aggies this year. And I'm not just talking about in Atlanta. I'm talking about in the playoffs in the future. I think this team is gettable. They have some flaws. They have some flaws. They give up a lot of rushing yards. They have a nice pass rush, a decent pass rush. That secondary, uh, that secondary, they're kind of like neck and neck with Texas. And you saw what we did to that Texas secondary. There's not a team outside of Ohio State. And I'm not being trying to be, uh, brand new or anything like that because of what we did to Texas. I mean, what we did to Texas ain't nobody has been able to do this year. We boat raced them. Ohio State wasn't even able to do that. There's no team outside of Ohio State that I would actually lose sleep over. That's in the playoffs right now. There's no team that I don't think that our Georgia Bulldogs could line up against and defeat head to head on a neutral site. It don't matter. Neutral site in Athens or either on the road, it don't matter. So for those of you that are worried about Georgia having to play an extra game, I wouldn't really too much concern myself with that because and a lot of people are really actually thinking about what happened with Notre Dame. Let me tell you what happened with Notre Dame. Remember, you had a mass shooting, you had a tragic event that happened at the French Quarters, which actually had the game moved to January the 2nd. Then you also got to remember Notre Dame was just a bad matchup for us. Notre Dame's strength was our weakness. We were terrible against the run last year, but this year is totally different. We are one of the best defenses against the run. We're able to run the ball, which is something that we weren't able to do last year. We were not able to run the ball last year. This year, we're able to run the ball this year. So I think if we had a bye, I think it would work to our advantage. It would give us we have some injuries. It would give us time to get some players back that was on the injury list. We could get them back. C.J. Allen is one, definitely. Taylor, salute to you, Bama boy. Taylor would be another one that we could get back. It's a couple of other players that are banged up that would be. Can you imagine if they had 30 days of rest? Ernest Green is one that comes to mind. Monroe Freeland has been playing banged up. Drew Bobo is playing with a broken pinky. He had a damn to look like a mitt on Saturday night in that Texas game. But if we can get a bye and we're able to rest up with 30 plus days, then hey, that's all good with me. I would love that. But if we have to go to Atlanta and face either the Aggies or Bama, I don't have a problem with it because right now I feel like we are playing damn good football right now. We are playing damn good football right now, and I don't fear any team in Atlanta because I just remember what I always say. It ain't how you start, it's how you finish when it comes to a football season. Championships are won and lost in the month of November, December, and January. Championships are not won and lost in September. Unless you losing more than one game. Unless you losing more than one game. But once again, these are the new rankings. Like I said, the only thing I disagree with is having Notre Dame in front of Miami. I don't understand why the hell they would have Notre Dame in front of Miami. It's not like that, that was a back and forth game. Miami dominated that game. They led from start to finish. You knew watching that game that night that Miami was going to win. There was no time in that game at all. No second that I ever thought that Miami was going to lose to Notre Dame. That's how dominant Miami was that night. So um, I don't know what the committee is looking at. I don't know what the committee is thinking about. Right now, if you ask me right now, if Notre Dame and Miami lined up and played tonight at a neutral site, who would I pick? I got to be honest with you. I don't know who I would pick to win that game, but I will say this: Notre Dame is at other teams' mercy. The next two games are pitiful. I think they will be out. Yeah, if Miami keeps winning, if Miami if Miami keeps winning, yes, sir, they are out. If Miami keeps winning and looks good, if they look the way they look Saturday, if they look like that against Virginia Tech and Pitt on the road, yes, yes, that's going to be a problem for Notre Dame. That is going to be a problem for Notre Dame. And also add in the fact, if Michigan, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but anything is possible. Strange things happen late in the college football season. If Michigan upsets Ohio State, then what are you going to do with Michigan? What are you going to do with Michigan? It's a lot of scenarios that could happen, but Notre Dame is not safe. I don't know why these analysts are saying it's like they're doing these brackets and they're putting Notre Dame in there and they're doing these bracketologies and they having Notre Dame. One fool got Notre Dame and Ohio State playing in the national championship game in a rematch. I don't understand that because their playoff spot is not secured at all, at all. And the committee sent a message tonight. the committee the committee sent a huge message tonight. And that message is we are considering bumping Miami in front of Notre Dame. That's the message that they sent tonight. And that is huge. That was huge. I was hey, if I'm a Notre Dame fan, I'm worried about that. I'm worried about that. You think if Miami was to make it to the playoffs, could it be a possible matchup between Georgia and Miami? This would be the narrative. Um, the only way, the only way you could get that to happen, the only way that could happen, 225 girl, is in the second round, in the quarterfinals, because uh, Georgia, with that fourth seed, Georgia would play the winner of the fifth seed and the 12th seed. That would be Georgia playing the winner of Texas Tech and Tulane, or Texas Tech and North Texas. So I don't know how Miami and Georgia could meet, because right now they have Georgia's at number 4, and it looks like Georgia's going to have a bye. USC beats Oregon. Oregon is done. Yeah, they done. They're done. They're done. G Bama boy. They're being the same situation with Vanderbilt. Hell, worse, because Vanderbilt has, by Missouri being ranked, that helps Vanderbilt's case. But Oregon has no ranked win. If they lose to USC, they have no ranked win. That's it. They're done. They will have no pathway, no nothing. They're absolutely done. So you are right. USC beats Oregon. Oregon season is over. Their season will be over. They'll be playing in a bowl game somewhere. The Taxslayer Bowl, Gasparilla Bowl, Gator Bowl, somewhere. They won't be in the playoffs. That's for damn sure. So you're absolutely right. Too many other 10-2 teams with stronger resumes, like Utah, BYU, Bama. Hell, I wouldn't doubt if that committee made a case for Texas. If Texas upset Texas A&M, I think a 9-3 Texas team would get in over a 10-2 Oregon team. with no ranked wins. And they would definitely put Miami in over Oregon. Definitely. So, like I said, that I don't know if that commissioner, the AD from Arkansas is taking over as the new commissioner for the college football playoff committee have anything to do with it, but I'm looking at this and they are really looking at strength of schedule. Head to head also, but with the exception of Miami and Notre Dame, and I think they're gonna set that up and they're gonna correct that. And Miami keeps winning. G Bambo said Miami and hold on. G Bambo says Bama OU is in trouble. Bama has to beat Auburn and A&M. OU has to beat Mizzou and LSU. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you, G Bama. Missouri is a bigger threat to Oklahoma, but what gives me pause on that, I don't see no true freshman backup quarterback being able to beat that Oklahoma defense. I don't see now. I think the first half is going to be tight, but Brent Venables is kind of like Kirby, where he knows how to make halftime adjustments, great halftime adjustments, and they'll come out there in the second half and put Missouri away. I don't think Missouri has enough offense to outmatch Oklahoma, but I think it'll be competitive in the first half. Now, as far as LSU, I don't think LSU has enough offense to beat Oklahoma. They have a good enough defense to stay in the game and to make it close, but I think Oklahoma would eventually, between Robertson and Blaylock and John Mateer, being able to utilize his legs, I think they can wear down that LSU defense and get them at the end. So I don't see Oklahoma losing another game. I think that they can take care of Missouri and LSU. But if they were to drop one of these games, it would be more than likely to Missouri. But I highly doubt it would be the LSU. And plus, that's a rivalry game too, as well. Salute to you, Russell Red. Yeah, man. It don't look good. It don't look good for Texas. I thought they would be down to they would drop down to 15. Salute to you, Major. What's going on, brother? What's going on, brother? I didn't think that they would drop Texas all the way down to 18. I'm sorry, 17. I didn't think they would drop Texas all the way down to 17. That was a shock right there. So their path, they need some crazy stuff to happen. They need something like Mississippi State to beat Ole Miss. They definitely need Oregon to lose to USC. They definitely need Notre Dame to lose. That's the big one right there. That's the one that's going to be damn near impossible to happen. They're going to need like a miracle. Yeah, man. Hey, win or lose, man. I'm ride or die with them dirty birds, bro. I just don't put my faith in them. Like I put my faith in the Dogs, I don't put my faith in the Falcons, but I'm ride or die with them, bro. I ain't jumping ship. You'll never see me walking around with no Cowboys t-shirt or no Steelers or no Rams t-shirt or anything like that. Even though I kind of consider LA like my second home, you'll never see me walking around with no Rams t-shirt. Mondo Georgia Tech wins the ACC. Someone will lose their spot. What you say? Mondo Georgia Tech wins the ACC. Someone will lose their spot. That's a good question. That's a good question. I think that would hurt BYU. I think that would really hurt BYU. Um, then Miami will have to look over their shoulder. It's tough, man. It's tough. You're gonna have some 10-2 teams left out, but I don't see a scenario where they're leaving out the ACC champion. I don't see a scenario where they're leaving out the ACC champion. So this is why I've been saying since October, uh, you do not want to put your playoff fate in the hands of the committee. That is why I stress the importance of our Georgia Bulldogs beating Texas. The only lock is to go undefeated or to go 11-1. That's the only way you're gonna lock yourself into a playoff spot. 10-2, 9-3 is shaky. Last year, 10-2 could get you in there. But now this year is the field is too crowded. 10-2 won't even be enough. You're gonna have some teams that finish 10-2 that are gonna be left outside. They're gonna be left out of the playoffs, and it's sad. It really is. It's you hate to see that happen. You really do. You hate to see that happen. You hate to see that happen. But for Bama, it's simple: beat Auburn, beat Auburn, because Bama's resume is so strong. You beat four ranked teams in a row. Missouri is back in the top 25, so that's a huge plus for Bama. It's set. Just beat Auburn. Bama beat Auburn. You're in. You're in. No matter what happens in Atlanta, Bama beat Auburn. Bama is in. Now the thing is, what happens in Atlanta may determine your seeding. It may determine whether you're gonna host a game in Tuscaloosa or go on the road. That's what the conference championship is going to determine. 225 girl says, get ready for a lot of bold opt outs if that happens. Teams being left out to play. And you know what? 225 girl. If I'm a head coach, I will be transparent with my team. Okay, so if we didn't make the say if I'm Vanderbilt, okay, so say if I'm Clark Lee, I'm the head coach of Vanderbilt, and we're left out as a 10-2 team. I'm going in the dressing room and I'm calling the meeting with the players and I'm telling all the seniors and the juniors, the ones that have graduated, the ones that are actually considering going off into the NFL, the ones that don't have any more eligibility. I'm asking them, look, if your heart ain't in it, if your heart ain't in it playing in the bowl game, then go ahead. You have my blessings to sit out, and I don't mind playing the young players because I want to see what the young players got anyway. Because the bowl game is like it's like an extension of the next season. You understand what I'm saying? You're not in the playoffs. You're playing a bowl game. So basically, it's a showcase of what you got coming in next year. I remember Kirby did that in 2019 after we lost to LSU in the SEC championship game. Kirby called a meeting and he asked all the players, look, whoever want to play, play. Those that don't want to play, I don't mind playing the younger players. He also did that in 2020, the pandemic year with Cincinnati. When we played Cincinnati in the Peach Bowl, we had some opt-outs in that game, and the young players, it was like our young players were going up against a whole bunch of grown-ass men from Cincinnati, and we ended up pulling that game out by a field goal. So, yeah, I agree with you, 225. You're going to have a lot of opt outs. A lot. A lot. A lot. A lot of opt outs. So, And it's a business decision. Just like you got these coaches, they jumping ship, leaving in the middle of the season, leaving, going out recruiting kids and then bringing them in. And then at the end of their freshman year, they're jumping ship, taking another job, going to another school. So and I understand some fans get upset and they get mad when players opt out, but don't have a damn thing to say when the coaches jump ship, which coaches do that a lot. So that's why I never knock a kid for making a business decision, because at the end of the day, it's business. Now we're in the transfer portal era and we're in the NIL era. It's business. It's a business. These kids ain't out here playing college football for fun like it was 20, 30 years ago. You play for the love of the game. No, it has a lot to do with this. It has a lot to do with this. It is what it is. Lane has created a mess. The Ole Miss, imagine what the team is thinking. Let me tell you, and I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up, bro. And this is going to be my closeout. My heart goes out to those kids at Ole Miss. Listen to me real good. My heart goes out to those kids at Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin recruited these kids, brought these kids in. These kids come in, play their asses off of him. And for him to just jump ship and leave after what these young men have achieved this year, having the best record, posting the best record in school history since 1962. And for him to leave them hanging like this, that's egregious. And if I'm a father of a young man that's looking for a school to call home and to play football for, I would not, and I repeat, I would not send my son to play for Lane Kiffin, because he can't guarantee me that he's going to be there for the entire 3 to 4 years. So if I send my son down, let's just say if he goes to Florida, if I send my son to Florida to play for Lane Kiffin, there's no guarantees that he's going to stay and be there as the head coach. I want stability. I would rather send my son to Georgia, because I know if Kirby come to my living room and recruit my son, I know Kirby gonna be there. He gonna be there 3 or 4 years from now. Unlike Lane Kiffin has been chasing the bag his entire coaching career, and he's gonna continue to chase the bag. And that's not the type of coach that I would send my son or trust my son with. So what he's doing to those kids down there in Ole Miss is egregious. It really is. 225 girl says, gee, Lane brought excitement to that place and took them. Freeze did. He could have shut this down weeks ago. Money. 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 Y'all remember that song by the OJs? For the love of money. It'll make you do bad things and it'll make you do wrong things. For the love of money. It clouds your thinking. We all know the right thing would be for Lane to do is to stay there at Ole Miss and finish the story. These kids done played their asses off. I watched that game against Oklahoma. Those young men played their asses off for Lane Kiffin. And now he is considering to even consider leaving right in the middle of a playoff run. That's bad business. G Bama is a correct 225 girl. But that's why I don't like him. Bama fans wanted him at Bama Lane is selfish. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Let me tell you something, G Bama. Listen to me real good. That's really well. That's really where Lane want to be. That's really where he want to be. That's his dream job. To be in Tuscaloosa as the head coach of Alabama, the University of Alabama. That's Lane's dream job. That's where he want to be. If something happened with Kalen DeBoer, say if y'all lose to Auburn, I'm just saying hypothetically, G Bama. Say if y'all lose to Auburn and y'all decide to get rid of Kalen DeBoer, Lane Kiffin would say, hell no to Florida, hell no to LSU, hell no to Penn State, hell no to Ole Miss, and he wouldn't hesitate. He'd be on the first plane smoking to Tuscaloosa. I promise you that. That's his dream job. That's where he want to be. I'm surprised when Nick Saban retired. I'm surprised that Lane Kiffin didn't end up at Tuscaloosa. That was the big surprise right there to me. That was a huge surprise. That was a big surprise. I still to this day don't understand how he didn't end up the next man. But yeah, G Bama, Lane Kiffin. I don't know if you know this or not, man, but that's his dream job. I think he would forget about everything and everybody else. I think he would take a cut. If Bama offered him less money than Florida, I think he would take the pay cut and go to Bama, because that's his dream job. Gee, I totally forgot about that. He did, and remember, he almost the Auburn job. If you could, well, 225 girl. What happened there? His daughter. He was already set to leave Ole Miss and go to Auburn, but his daughter talked him out of it. His daughter told him that she was happy at Ole Miss. She had met some friends. She had got settled. She didn't want to leave Ole Miss, and she talked her father into changing his mind, and he stayed at Ole Miss. Other than that, he would have left. He would be at Auburn. He would be Auburn's head coach right now. And ain't no telling where Auburn would be. Hell, Auburn would probably be where Ole Miss is at. Auburn probably would be in the playoffs. Now, I don't like the way Lane Kiffin does business, but I will say this. He's a hell of a coach. He is a hell of a damn coach and one of the best play callers that I've seen in college football in my lifetime. The way that man can scheme up and dial up plays on the fly is the man is good at what he does. And whatever Florida and LSU is trying to offer him, he's worth every dime. But from what I'm hearing, he's planning to stay. From what I'm hearing, he's planning to stay. Yes, sir, G Bama. Yes. That's why I'm surprised y'all didn't go for him instead of Kalen DeBoer. I think Kalen DeBoer is a little overrated. And I'm not just saying that because he's Bama's head coach. I felt that way about him when he was at Washington. I felt like Kalen DeBoer was a little overrated. He's a good coach, but he's not on Lane Kiffin's level. He's not. Lane Kiffin is on a whole nother level. So I can understand why those people down there in Florida are losing their mind trying to get him down there. It's a reason why they're trying to throw the bag at him. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. He's a hell of a coach, but I just don't agree with the way he do business. I don't. I don't. Yeah, I remember these are kids. These are young men. These ain't grown men. This ain't the NFL. The way he's operating, that's how coaches move in the NFL. I don't agree with moving like that when it comes to the college ranks because you're dealing with 17, 18-year-old, 19, 20-year-old kids. You got to show some type of loyalty to these kids at the end of the day. The SEC is going to make DeBoer a good coach or he's gone. He's a good coach. He's not elite, but he's a good coach. He's a good coach. Don't get me wrong. He's a good coach. He just ain't on Lane Kiffin level. He ain't on that level of a Lane Kiffin or a Kirby or a Ryan Day. He ain't on that level. He getting there. And remember, he young. The man is young. He's young. He has the ways to go. I just I just think if I'm a Bama fan, if I'm rolling the clock back 2 years ago, if I'm a Bama fan, I would much rather have Lane Kiffin as the head coach. But y'all had like it was Mike Norvell, Kalen DeBoer, Bama fans, and I remember listening to Bama fans. They were calling in to the Paul Feinbaum show, and they were saying that they didn't want Lane Kiffin. Oh, we don't want Lane Kiffin. We don't want no Lane Kiffin. A lot of Bama fans did not want Lane Kiffin. And that was a shock right there to me. But everyone, thank you all for coming out. Hey, it's getting real. These college football rankings are getting real. 7 through 10, keep an eye on 7 through 10 because that's going to be interesting. And I've said, like I said, it's everything I've said is manifesting itself. I said it's going to be some 10-2 teams left out of this thing. Unfortunately, it's a shame. I hate to see a 10-2 team left out, but it's going to be some 10-2 teams left out. Unfortunately, I think Vanderbilt is going to be one of them. One more thing: if Lane goes to Florida, he's taking some of Ole Miss's best players with him, and that's wrong. Yeah, but that's business. That's business. And like Frank Sinatra said, that's life. That's life. It's all about this right here, G Bama boy. It's all about this. Cash rule everything around you, bro, at the end of the day. All right, everybody, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button on your way out. Peace and blessings to you. I just want to come on here and chop it up with you. What do you think? Do you all agree? Do you all agree with this? Do you all agree? I don't think Notre Dame should be in front of Bama. I don't think. I think that is very egregious. Putting Notre Dame in front of Bama. I think Bama should at least be a 9, right behind Oklahoma, just like they had us right behind Bama most of the season. They didn't have it. Really wasn't no gap between Bama and Georgia. They would have Bama at 5, Georgia at 6. Then when Bama moved up to number 4, they had Georgia at 5. Same thing with Ole Miss. They had us right behind each other. So I don't understand. Notre Dame's resume is nowhere near the strength of Bama's. But hey, who am I? I'm just a sports podcaster. I'm just old Georgia sportscaster. Hey, that's just my opinion. My thoughts, my opinion. I think Bama has a hell of a better record than Notre Dame. They both have 2 losses. So I don't understand. Yeah, the Florida State, you could talk about the Florida State loss or whatever, but Bama, you can't erase the body of work, the wins against the four ranked opponents in a row. Not too many teams this year can brag about that. But hey, it is what it is. Just beat Auburn. Like I always say, never leave your playoff fate in the hands of this committee. To everyone, thank you all for coming out. Peace and blessings to you. Take care of yourselves and each other. If those of you that are gonna watch the playback, make sure you hit that like button. For everyone that has watched it live, make sure you like and share. If you haven't always already subscribed to the channel, shame on you. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Going to bring you great content. We are in playoff mode. The road to Miami is here. So everyone, thank you all. Love you all. Peace and blessings. And at the end of the day, it's always going to be, no matter what, win, lose, or draw. At the end of the day, it's always going to be, go dogs. Sick 'em. Woo, 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 woo. Everyone enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night.
So bring on Florida, bring on BAMA, and bring on Texas too. We stay true, the Dogs stay true.